We live. All right. Peace to the family. Peace to the family. You remember your assertion? I'm using my consciousness.
Yeah.
I mean, you good. You know what you're talking about. Are we good? Are we ready? Thanks to the family for coming out here. Today's lesson for homeschool is going to be, well, you know what? She can read her heading, and we'll get straight to work. I need you to put your password into your computer, first of all. I don't really want her sitting down too much. The reason why I don't want her sitting down too much when we're studying or we're learning, I'll give you that very shortly, but right now I just need her to read off what the lesson plan is for today, and then I'll go into some of the nuances of the way I teach, why I switch the forums up, why I like to teach standing, why I like the person standing when they're learning. I need to go over all of that information. It's very important. Go ahead, baby. Read your heading. Let's tell everybody what this is about.
Name, the Algebra 2A. J, October 21, 2018. Subject, matter, language, metaphysics, and motivation. Time, 4:45 p.m.
Okay. We looking good. Read off your vocabulary. Read me A.
Placebo.
Say it louder.
Placebo.
Placebo. Okay. B. Read off B.
Nocebo.
Nocebo. There's a placebo, there's a nocebo. Okay. Read off C. Cortisol. No problem. Read off C.
Cortisol.
There you go. It's a stress hormone, correct?
Yeah.
Very important. You get stressed, it's going to make learning hard and also committing things to memory, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we need to know what the stress hormone is, because under no pretense should you allow any form of stress to take place when a child is learning. If someone's learning, get rid of stress immediately. If you see on their countenance that they're looking scary, stop the whole thing and remind them you are not in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You can make errors. You're allowed to make so-called mistakes. Because to me, we don't call them mistakes, we call them opportunities. And I'm gonna give y'all a book that y'all need to read. We don't make mistakes, we make opportunities. Every so-called mistake is an opportunity. We have to use words to the best of our ability to empower ourselves. So even when she gets word problems, right? We don't call them word problems. We call them word opportunities. We call them word puzzles. And she loves puzzles. Okay, so this is what we do. Because if people got problems at home. So imagine the average child suffering from domestic violence in the house, suffering from broken family household, someone suffering from alcoholism. There's too much noise, too much arguments, and too much contention in the household. They leave home to come to school after all those problems at home. Now suddenly they got word problems. Who wants more problems? So no, we're not going to give our children word problems. We're going to give them word puzzles. And it's going to be fun because we're going to decode opportunities within those word puzzles to get the resolution. So no, I don't give her any problems because she got problems in the form of insecurities. I may never know. I don't want to compound interest on problems. Okay? So math should never be a problem. Nothing in math should be called a problem. This is why most people don't like it, because they was giving nothing but problems. Every year they was giving problems. Every class they was giving problems. So no, never give your child word problems or any math problems, because math is not a problem. Not knowing math is the problem. Math itself is not the problem. Hope everybody understands. Talking very fast because I want to get to the subject matter. You know how I get when I'm doing homeschool, class can be 4 hours long, it can be 5 hours long. So we got to be careful. All right, so we will not deal with word problems. We got that right. And if you see stress on a child's face, we got to address it in real time. Because we don't want cortisol to be produced because it impedes on one's ability to commit things to memory, which therefore impedes on one's ability to learn effectively and efficiently. Hope everybody got that. That smile has to stay consistent. Has to stay consistent. You have to find ways to make this learning fun, fluent, and expansive. You have to. All right? Okay, so give me the other one, I think on D. What's the vocabulary on D?
Etymology.
Etymology. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, many people say, man, why are you stressing that child out? Why she got to learn about cortisol and etymology and placebo and nocebo? Why are you going into so much biology and that? Come on, we ain't see this on Magic School Bus. But like, why are you going so hard? Listen, it's not above her ability to learn. And this information is very relevant, and if she learns it now, when she learns it now, pardon the word if it's not relevant, when she learns this information now, guess what's going to take place? As an adult, she cannot be stopped, because everything we teach will be immediately connected to her reality. Because every class I give her is about her being a master of her own destiny. So tonight, we're going to talk about quantized computation. When it comes to heavy science, it's great to do it in the evening time, if possible. There's different hours out the day, different aspects of learning is a lot more easier to learn. This is the circadian rhythm of education. I gotta do a class on that. Circadian rhythm of education. Polight said he retired, but I never stopped teaching. I retired speaking to a certain demographic. I want to cater more to the youth, and I'm going to use my daughters as an opportunity to empower children and adults to establish the bond that is necessary that the public school system makes moot. Okay? So go into the subject again, subject matter, and read off what we'll be learning again today.
Name.
I just want you to read subject matter. Always follow instructions. Go where it says subject matter.
Language, metaphysics, and motivation.
Language, metaphysics, and motivation. And when we talk about metaphysics, what are we talking about? Give me a key word.
Etymology.
Well, we got to go into etymology. That's true. We got to go into etymology. But when we talk about metaphysics, and we did do the etymology of metaphysics, so I definitely get it. We're talking about, what about matter? You know what matter is? What's matter?
What do you feel?
Anything that you can feel, right?
Yeah.
Physical.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about metaphysics, we're talking about our understanding of matter, right? This is important. This is going to be the first thing that everybody has to understand. Thank you, baby. She understands matter. Very important. You know, anything that's physical, anything we can touch, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I need you to understand. Okay, stand on this side for me real quick so they can see. Okay, so we got metaphysics, right?
Yeah.
Metaphysics. All right, and the thing about this, meta, okay, meta means beyond. And you know, we went to the Greek and we see physics, and it means natural things. We went into the etymology, right? But then we're talking about what? The study of matter and its properties. That's physics, the study of matter and its properties, right?
Yeah.
But particularly, what deals with that is classical physics. That's why we're going to etymology. So we understand what was the state of mind of people when they was talking about physics in the first place and then metaphysics. Well, what happens is this. Up until you have Neil Bohr, right? He's one of the scientists. Well, it's Neil Bohr. Let's put 1927, right? He made incredible breakthroughs, but prior to 1927, you had classical physics was the main thing that we was using to understand what matter is. Okay, the physical properties of matter, the most minuscule and the most grandeur aspects of matter. That's what we were studying. Okay, you can stand back over here, baby, right by the side, so you don't block the words. A little back, boom. Watch the legs so you don't kick it. You could get comfortable. You could loosen up. I don't want you uncomfortable. So, beyond classical physics. So, when you say metaphysics, a lot of times people suppose you're talking about that which can't be proven. But, in actuality, classical physics is the birth of us really getting a mastery of the physical properties of matter and understanding how it comes about and the energy thereof. I also have to use the word energy, very important. When we talk physics, we're talking matter and we're talking energy. When I'm talking physics, we're talking matter and we're talking energy. So we're talking about the physical properties of matter and the energy thereof. That's physics. Classical physics deals with it from the first level. There was a point where science stopped, and there's a lot of speculation couldn't really get past classical physics. The first stage of studying the physical properties of matter, that which is solid, and what is it made up of, and the energy that connects to it, the energy that makes it possible. Then we learn there has to be more knowledge that comes after classical physics, and that's where you get the term metaphysics from. So metaphysics is not this spiritual spooky thing that people will have you believe. Metaphysics is anything that comes after classical physics, like space physics, like supersymmetry, like string theory, okay? Quantum chromodynamics, quantum entanglement, quantum mechanics. All of those are metaphysics. All of those are inclusive of metaphysics. Let people teach it the right way. Let them teach it the wrong way, and they'll make up a bunch of things and say, man, we can't prove it. No, metaphysics always can be proven, but it is that which comes after classical physics. Teach the youth the right way. The adults are tripping. All right? This is very important. You will never know what you know until you talk to someone that doesn't. It's just the way the game works. Okay? You'll never know what you know until you talk to someone that doesn't. These are all facts. And you will be experimenting on if you're not doing the experimenting. That's what this whole thing is about. Understand that, family. This is about the experimentation taking place on the people who don't do the experimenting. So the reason why I want to learn this, because it's nice that she can dance, she can sing, she can act, literally play instruments, speak multiple languages. All of that is dope, particularly the multiple languages. All of that is powerful. But you always got to reserve some room for this type of study, because then you won't know what's transpiring even when they're saying it right in front of your face. You got to pay attention to this information. Okay? So, we'll get this out of here. Metaphysics, beyond classical physics. And what we're going to talk about is how to become masters of our own reality. But there's some things that I want to bring up to you, because I always got to make this interesting. Subject matter is extremely important. But what do we say? If I was to go, halana ashut.
I'm using. Sorry.
Go ahead, you got it.
I'm using my consciousness to manifest my goals.
There you go. Halana ashut means.
Let's pray.
Oh, thank you. Brain freeze. You know, cause what I teach is cold. I got a brain freeze. This is so cold. I got a brain freeze. See, that's how I escape. That's how I escape. All right. So when Daddy teach so cold, I got a brain freeze. Thank you. So halana ashut. Thank you, translator. You're my translator. It means let us pray, or let's pray. And we pray like this because we understand that there's a specific connection between the heart and the brain, because all the other muscles in the body, like the other organs, particularly the kidneys and the lungs and the heart is very significant. The pancreas.
The brain connected to the heart.
That's right, the brain's connected to the heart. And what we realize is so special about the brain connected to the heart. This is preschool knowledge for her. So, you know, she got the ego like, yo, let me break it down. The brain's connected to the heart through the vagus nervous system. Well, the thing is this. What we find out is that all these other organs, first of all, they have to be exercised. The number one way to exercise the internal organs is through breathing. So breathing is extremely important, because we do exercise to cater to the muscles that we can see protruding out of our skin for the look. But we don't engage the muscles that's inside the body, which the number one way to exercise the pancreas, the kidney, the liver, the heart, and all the other muscles internally is through breathing. And in fact, the skin is the largest organ in the human body, and the human body is a percussion instrument, which means we use air to make or produce tones. And that's why you can tell if you was talking to somebody over the phone, if they do weightlifting, because they be like, yo, you know, I just had a good time, you feel me? Because you'll hear it. Or someone that's overweight, they have a tone because their skin is stretching a certain way. So they breathe a certain way. So the production of their tone is going to come out differently. So the body is a percussion instrument. That's why you have organs, right? Organs get played. You have vocal cords. Cords get played. You have a heartbeat. That which produces beats is part of music. You have eardrums, okay? Eardrums. Drums get beat. You feel what I'm saying? So you got a heartbeat, you got eardrums, you got vocal cords. Cords get played. The human body's percussion instrument, skin, organs. We can take the bases of the DNA, adenine, guanine, tyrosine, and all those other bases, and we can see that it connects with the scales on the piano. You give me them. Do, re, mi. Go ahead. You.
Do, re, mi, fa, si, la, do.
See, she got her own little
But
remix.
my voice is kind of awesome.
Don't worry about it. She got her remix. You see, I'm not gonna do that. I ain't about to do all of that. Yo, don't rate me. You feel me? That's how I'm gonna. Yo, don't rate me. Fa so loud. You know, that's how I do it. That's how Daddy do it. Because Daddy grew up in the hood.
Sounds aggressive.
Yeah, because I'm from the projects. That's where Daddy come from. You ain't from no projects. So when we don't rate me, we don't rate me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you from my era, you know what I'm talking about. Feel me? So we don't rate me differently than the youth don't rate me. The youth don't rate me soft. We go hard when we don't rate me. All right? So that's how we do that. We move forward so we don't digress. So basically the basis of the DNA, which is made up of sugar, is very important. Remember we said OSE. Anytime you hear OSE, that means what? Remember? OSE is a suffix. That means we're talking about what? Sugar. Anytime you hear OSE, like glucose, fructose, lactose, maltose, we're talking about what?
Sugar.
There you go, because the OSE, the OS, right? So
That's what it stands for?
yeah, so when we're done with DNA, you're done with deoxyribose nucleic acid. So we know, oh man, sugars is made up of the DNA. Not the sugar that you see in the Domino's bag. It's very complex sugars, very different types of sugars. So sugars and proteins are very important and intricate in detail to life. Sugar and protein. And proteins fold, they bend, and create opportunities for us to live. We'll go into that. That's a whole nother class. So basically, the DNA corresponds to the keys in the piano. They rolled it out. You say, man, it looks kind of like the keys in the piano as far as notes are concerned. So we also understand we have vocal cords. Cords get played, heartbeats, beats, like as in drums, beats get played for music, eardrums, okay? And we say, man, this is dope. We got organs in general, organs get played. And also, before you die, we say it's important to leave this world on a good note. So life is a song. And in fact, we look at the word universe. We won't go into the etymology of verse meaning against, but we could go into it on its most colloquial sense. The surface meaning, and verse is a poem by meaning, or a group of words, a collection of words, a hymn. So the universe is one poem or one song. So they say we have to get in tune with the universe. Tune goes back into music. So we want to die on a good note. We want to be in tune with the universe. We have organs that get played. We have vocal cords. Cords get played. We have heartbeats. We have eardrums. So when we put this all together, DNA corresponds with the keys in the piano. That's why it's a universe. That's why it's one poem or one song. So in order to be in tune with the universe, we have to be able to play its song through breathing and through thinking. To be in tune with the one poem or the one hymn that is the universe. Uni meaning one, verse meaning poem or collection of words or hymn. To get in tune with the one poem, we have to know how to play life's song. So we can leave here on a good note. Which is why we say the affirmation. What's the affirmation?
I'm using my consciousness to manifest my goals.
That's right. This is why we say I'm using my consciousness to manifest my goals. And now we'll go back to the sugars. All those other organs in the body need sugar in order to contract or facilitate the reason why they exist. All right? All the organs demand sugar so they can facilitate their purpose. But the heart is the one exception. So the kidney needs sugar, the liver needs sugar, the pancreas needs sugar. You feel me? But the heart can't be using no sugar because then lactic acid will be produced. Lactic acid. We have to do a PowerPoint so you can see the imagery of what's taking place. If lactic acid was to build around your heart, you wouldn't even be able to see 2 years ago if you're right. Because you would get tired, lactic acid would be produced. When you're working out, and you get to a point where it's like, yo, I gotta stop, man. This is getting too much. That's lactic acid that's being produced from working out. And guess what? If you keep pushing yourself out of nowhere, your body consumes itself because it starts eating the sugar. And you're like, yo, I got a second wind. I'm killing them. It's because your body's using you. Your body's consuming you to give you a next set of energy. Good because you get to work out again. Bad because now you're doubling up on what you need to replace. Okay? So this is lactic acid that causes that. So imagine if your heart produced lactic acid because it was made up of sugar. And your heart said, oh, I'm getting exhausted from beating for this dude. I mean, after all, he's like 6'3", and he's running up and down the court over and over. We need a break. That would mean you would die, right? So every other part of your body that's muscle Let me take a little break. And lactic acid gets reduced, but we can't afford that to happen with the heart, can we? The muscles need sugar, but the heart is not made up of no sugar. So even though it's a muscle, so where does it get its ability to do what it does void of the sugar? Well, the heart is connected to the brain. It's a bunch of fat. That's 52 ounces, soaking in water, mostly fat, but it's filled with sugar. And so we see the connection where the brain and the heart is connected, because what the heart won't do for you, the brain will do. And this is why the ancestors made a connection with consciousness amongst the brain and the heart. And in fact, if you go to the walls of Egypt, the word for heart is it, and it literally means mental, mind, intellect. The heart means that. So they would take the brain out the nose. The nose would be considered the now, figuratively. They take the brain out the nose, throw it away, smush. With the heart, they would take that, put that in a canonic jar. We're preserving this because this is the seat of consciousness, the seat of awareness. So the brain does help us facilitate only because the heart. And that's through the vagus nervous system. Very important information. Lactic acid, very important information. Organs being made up of sugar, very important information. We got to get back to this. So our affirmation is what? Say it again.
I'm using my consciousness to manifest my goals.
There we go. Whatever she wants to do in this world, she knows the prerequisite step is to be able to use your consciousness to manifest your goals. Very important. Every child should have those words in their vocabulary. Hint, hint, wink, wink to parents that's homeschooling. Consciousness and manifestation. And if you're not manifesting, if you're not dealing with manifestation, pardon me, if you're not dealing with manifestation, you're a man-infestation. If you're not producing, you're destroying. So if you're not dealing with manifestation, you're dealing with man-infestation. A lack of productivity makes you destructive. It makes you destroy other people's ideas. People come over productive, yo, I think I'm gonna be a star, and I'm gonna drive big cars, I'm gonna get a nice house or something. You can't do that. We ain't got no money. See, once somebody does that, they're destroying your dreams. And now you got to be careful who you give your dreams and your ideas to. True. Very important. Be careful who you tell what your goals are, because people will use their consciousness not to create their ideas, but to destroy yours. Wow. There's some real stuff. You're getting game. You're learning in the future. You say, yo, Daddy told me about people like you. You know, we call them niggas, but I don't want you using that word. I really don't. Just had to put it out there. That's what we call them. So if you hear us say it sometimes, that's the frustration from our generation. But you're better than those words. We're going to use high frequency words. These words are words you hear, but these are very low frequency words. In its origin, the word was a title of nobility that denotes an Ethiopian sovereign. So whenever people that came to oppress us or belittle us or do harm to us, they didn't like those niggas, which were us, because we were kings. It meant rulers, sovereigns. So they hated us niggas. They hated us as niggas, because every time they talked about niggas, they was talking about black people in power. They wasn't in power. We had all the world's organic and inorganic commodities at our accessibility. We didn't have to leave to another side of the world to get what people travel to our side of the world to get in Africa. We had it already. So it didn't even have value to us like it has value to other people. So diamonds was like picking apples from trees. We had it everywhere. Gold, we made houses out of gold. Even to this day in Ghana, there's so much gold in the land that they have mud huts that's saturated in gold. That's why they call Ghana the Gold Coast in the continent of Africa. Gold is just in the ground everywhere. Even our houses was made up of gold, even if you couldn't see it. And any metal that exists always has an associative metal that comes with it. So when there's gold, there's iron. And these are two very important components of life. So where there's gold, there's iron. So they have to go through an essay to sift through the gold to separate the iron and all the other minuscule elements as part of it, so they can give you gold by the carats, which would be 24 karat being the purest. Don't worry about it. Watch the video, you get that. Reason I'm talking fast is that's not the purpose of this information. Daddy just talked because I got to get it out of my head. All right? So don't worry about it. But you'll remember it and just, oh man, that's what the essay is, when they making sure they understand how to sift through the different elements in the gold. You'll get it later. But always understand every element is accompanied by another element. I'm talking fast because I want to get to the point. But knowledge is important, so we're going to spit it whenever we got it, because we don't got no one saying, oh, 45 minutes class is over. You know, when we do class, we going in. You feel me? We working up a sweat. We don't stop until the batteries die. And even after the batteries die, we still going in. Mommy shaking her head like, yo, you never stop. I read entirely too much, people, so sometimes I don't even remember what I remember until I start speaking. You feel what I'm saying? I'm like, oh yeah, I never said the thing about golden essays. Let me throw that in there. So, very important. I'm using my consciousness to manifest my goals. Very important. What I want to go into, this is an interesting part of the conversation, right? Do me a favor, erase this stuff for me. Get one of these. Erase the top for me. Thank you. Okay. Do it real quick if you can. Thank you. So, we got Vanna Black here. This is, this is our former Wheel of Fortune. This is Vanna Black. She's here to help us out. But this is what I want to do. Let me ask you a question, Jabrizi.
What's up?
I think with Snow White. What the hell is that? Okay, whatever that is. But there's Snow White. Alright, there you go. That's good, baby. I mean, you ain't got to clean it up perfect. Very meticulous. You got OCD or something? You ain't got to do all that. Alright, come on. So, oh man, my baby got aggressive cleaning disorder. But so listen. Let me get that out of the way. I got it too. All right, so we're using our consciousness to manifest our goals. What we want to discuss is very interesting. You got to do the research to make sure that daddy's not leading you astray, boys. We always got the research in. I do the lectures with my baby, and then she has to do essays and research, watch videos that correspond with what I'm saying, so that way it validates all the data. I never want her to just take what I say for face value. I just communicate the ideas to keep it exciting, make it very fluent, make it very expansive, and then she has to go do the follow-up research. Of course, I'm going to suggest what videos she should watch, and then she has to give me some creative input on what she chose to see after she watched it, whatever that may be. Because, one video leads you to another video. One set of research leads you to another set of research. Fine. But I also need her to search. I don't just want her to research. Read, do it again, search. To search again. The problem with most people is
You can't hear me.
you can't do what?
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me? They just said that?
They said it before I put it up. They was hearing.
Can y'all hear me now? I can hear perfect, someone said. Great. Damn, I didn't even know we had like 1,000 people in there. Salute. Salute, salute. Dang, now I'm nervous. There's so many people watching. Yeah, look at it. 1,000 people. Hi. She would start singing. Yo, I can sing. Yo, bars, bars. You think she's not? Yo, she's about to start spitting.
My voice has to be good for me to start.
You see, she ready to go. She's like, yo, so, Daddy, you ain't tell me 1,000 people's gonna be here live, yo. Yo, shout out. It's Mad Hotel and Tomb Ray. You know what I'm saying? Beverly Hills, baby. They don't say Beverly Hills grimy. You gotta lie and say Brownsville or something. You can't say Beverly Hills grimy. She did that before.
No.
She was like, yo, Beverly Hills. I'm like, no one has ever said Beverly Hills like that. Never. Knock it off. Just be the good girl. Can I take where you live, Daddy? Stop. Okay, so is this immigration? Oh no.
The bird was.
Yeah, it's just a promotion. Anyway, so this is what we do. We get back on track. That thing is constantly clicking. I'm like, is he ever going to be done? But anyway, at the end, NROP says it was recorded. That's all I worry about. So now what happens is I'm using my consciousness to manifest my goals. We're talking about the quantum computation taking place to manipulate reality, and the only thing we can do to combat that when we don't have the technology is to be able to facilitate our own consciousness. But first, let's get an example. Y'all are out there. I want to ask y'all questions live, because we on live for those of you that don't know. But right here, I'm also filming it because people ask me, can you film these homeschool sessions and upload it? We miss you, Polight, on YouTube. And some people only exist on YouTube, so if I'm not on YouTube, they think I just fell off the planet Earth and I stopped. So I do this. Watch this. Snow White, I believe it is. I want you to, what is the popular line in Snow White, Jabrizi? She goes by the mirror and she says,
Oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Okay, say that again.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
Now watch this. What if I told you that don't even exist? It never existed.
The mirror? Or that line?
Mirror, mirror on the wall. It never existed. How would you feel about that?
I'm confused.
You should be.
Yeah.
Because we remember that. But it's magic mirror on the wall. What if I told you that's what it
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, no, you know what? I remember hearing that. It is magic mirror on the
says?
wall.
But you was right about mirror, mirror, I believe, because I also have the same memory.
Uh-huh.
You watch Forrest Gump?
Yeah, I've seen the movie.
You remember the famous line from Forrest Gump?
Run, Forrest, run.
Aside from that one, Mama always said.
Oh, Mama always said stupid is what stupid does.
The other thing Mama said.
Oh.
Life is like a, come on.
Oh, box of raisins.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Damn, never mind.
Where you from? You from Chicago? That's that shot
Oh,
shit.
you know what?
Frying me.
Well, you know what? Next time, what I will do, I will coach him through to make sure. I don't like to do stuff like that, but this is one of those occasions. Matter of fact, let me talk to him on the side real quick.
No, and that's how you know everything ain't set up though, because I really genuinely.
Okay, let's stick with mirror, mirror on the wall. Let's stick with mirror, mirror on the wall. He got that right. But I also want y'all to know out there, and I know y'all are also commenting in the section, that Forrest Gump said, you know, Mama always
They're
said.
laughing at raisins.
I don't know. Yo, he's a legend for that one. We're gonna have to cut the Facebook clip into this clip so we can see him at work. But Mom always said life is like a box of chocolate. But the words changed, and now it's like was instead of is, and that's weird. But we know that Snow White has the mirror, mirror on the wall, right? But now it's magic mirror. Okay, you ever watch Star Wars?
Yeah.
Okay, finish the sentence. Luke. Finish the sentence.
I am your father.
There you go. No problem. That's how you remember it, right?
Okay, yeah.
What if I told you that never happened? If you watch the movie right now, you'll never see that. No matter how old you go back.
That he don't say I am your father.
He don't say, Luke, I am your father. You know what he says? No, I am your father.
I put the Luke in there.
No, it's not you. This is what we got to go into. There's a group of us on planet Earth all for some reason making the same mistake. How could that be?
That's weird.
How could we all have memories, right? How can we all... See, this is before your time. They're going to screw with y'all. That's why I'm getting you on point right now so you can... Yo, this ain't never happened. Yeah, I need you to be able to do that. Do you remember a peanut butter called Jiffy?
Jeff.
It's now Jeff. You're younger than me by 10 years. So you would believe Jeff exists. See, they already got him. Come here, put this camera on me. They already got him. He is younger than me by 10 years. But what I'm going to tell you is there's a group of people in my generation that remember Jiffy. Like, we're going to do this in a Jiffy. But now the word is Jiff. Fruit Loops. You know how they spell Fruit Loops?
How could you say Jiffy and it's like peanut butter? And peanut butter, I don't associate with fast.
Let's not go there.
All right. I'm
I'm
saying. I'm like sitting here like, yo,
Watch
Jiffy.
this.
All right.
But there's a group of us on planet Earth that remember Jiffy.
Okay.
Okay. Just like there's a group of you out there, if you remember Sinbad, he played the role of a genie in a movie. If you're from my generation, and definitely older, because I kind of caught that when young. If you're from my generation and a little older, guess what's going to happen? You're going to remember Sinbad, the actor, played a genie. But they'll tell you right now, he never played the role of a genie, ever. But people in my era, and definitely older, remember Sinbad playing a genie. But now that I bring it up, look it up. And you'll see that's the most common mistake ever. Sinbad never played a genie. Nelson Mandela. When I was in school and I had to do current events, we had to talk about him being locked up in Africa. We learned that he died during my time. Like, he died when I was a young man. Suddenly, he died in the year 2000 plus. But prior, we learned he died way before that. And we was bigging up Winnie Mandela as a soldier. And we were saying Nelson Mandela kind of played her, and he violated her, you know what I'm saying? And she held the fort down while he was locked up. I remember cutting paper out and taping the newspaper to my black marble notebook, doing current events. Somehow, there's a bunch of people on planet Earth. Like, hold on, he died again in the year 2012, 13, or something like that. What? When did he die? 2000 and what? There's a group of us saying, yo, how could we all mistake someone so prominent in black history? South Africa. How can we all forget what happened to him at the same time? What kind of black people? I know black people got their issues when it comes to history. But how could a group of us have the same account that never existed? They named this phenomenon after him called the Mandela effect. But more specifically, we're going to go into the technology that was created that's responsible for this. Okay? It's a D-wave computer. It's a form of a supercomputer. It's a quantum computer. The universe is quantized. Just like pictures are pixelated and it comes to us. There's an actual smallest point that a picture can be made up of, pixels. to
Yep.
create the actual image, the universe is made up of planks. So the universe is also pixelated, just like a computer. The universe is, this is a computer,
They sound
simulation.
close together too. Pixel point.
Yeah, so it's named after scientist Planck, and the universe is made up of planks. So planks are to the universe as pixels are to pictures, so we can put it together. And this is a simulation. We're part of a program, basically. We're going to move the God concepts and everything out the way just for a few moments. Y'all can go back to God right after this conversation. So this thing is called the Mandela effect. So you remember Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. I remember Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. Her generation knows Magic Mirror on the Wall. I'm like, what the heck are you talking about? Baby girl, it's Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. What's wrong with your generation? Always corrupting stuff. Then I go, I can't find no proof that it was Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. And if you're on Facebook and you remember Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, just type in 9. If you remember Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. If you remember GIF. If you remember Fruit Loops used to be spelled F-R-U-I-T. If you remember instead of F-R-O-O-T. That would have been the bootleg cereal we get for like $1.
True.
What the heck is Fruit Loops being spelled like that for? GIF to Jiffy. Jiffy to GIF. If you watch Silence of the Lambs, I don't know how far you go back. You might have been too scared when you was younger. But when you watch Silence of the Lambs, the famous line is what? Hello, Clarice. He says in a very eerie way. He eats human beings. You know, hello, Clarice. Now, it's good morning. It's a group of people out here that remember him saying, hello, Clarice. Now, he's saying good morning in the damn movie. And there's a group of us on planet Earth like, good morning? What in the hell? Is this the new version? No, this is the original. So you may say, oh, it's just a few sentences are changed. Like, what's your point? No, I'm giving you small examples. I got a group of people that I teach that say, yo, Polight, remember you was breaking down this thing about the pole shifts and everything? I wrote a book called 3 Pole Shifts. This happens commonly with people that follow me. The Autumn Equinox of 2012, 3 Pole Shifts, and Winter Solstice. These are 3 books.
Go back a little bit.
The Autumn Equinox of 2012, 3 Pole Shifts, and the Winter Solstice. These are 3 books that I wrote. Just like how we will look at the Mandela effect in movies, and we say, man, I remember Silence of the Lambs, he said, hello, Clarice. Hello, Clarice. And now it's good morning. I remember Forrest Gump, he said, Mom always said, life's like a box of chocolate. That's not the same. I remember Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, Snow White, but now it's Magic Mirror on the Wall. I remember Jiffy Peanut Butter, now it's Jif. I remember Sinbad playing the role of a genie, but now he's no longer a genie. As a matter of fact, the movie don't even exist. We went through this so much times, a group of people making the same error, having the same account about history. Memories are being snatched or replaced or supplanted right before our eyes. But some account of it is still there. Somebody always remembers something and tells someone, it's a group of people, then the next generation comes, what are y'all talking about? But the next generation don't really realize because that stuff is a little irrelevant to them, so they pick it up and they accept it for whatever it is. People become white people over time. You're like, what? We don't even realize. And then sometimes we kind of, wasn't he black? No, he's white now. This is some crazy stuff. So I got people based on those books I just mentioned that I published, that I wrote as well. They said, yo, Polight, remember you was breaking down the pi symbol and how there's different points on planet Earth with the different vortexes, and then you dropped. And I'm like, man, that sounds familiar. And they're like, no, I got several students that's like, yo, you used to break this down. They're going on YouTube looking for it. And I'm like, I remember that. I'm looking for it. None of us could find it. So I started saying, this is what made me start studying the Mandela effect. Because I'm like, yo, how come I got several students that remember me dropping stuff, and they like, yo, we want that vintage Polight that was teaching such and such. And I'm like, yo, that's deep. I don't remember teaching such and such. Then there's other times somebody really said something to me. And I'm like, yo, hold on. I remember teaching that, and I know what I wrote and where I can find it. And I couldn't find it at all. And that's when I started feeling the way. Okay, I was talking about the living in the parabola of our existence, and I know I wrote at least 30 pages on living in the parabola of our existence. And I only seen a little snippet in my 2012 book, and I'm like, something's not right. And several people that followed me from the very beginning when I wrote that book, they attest that that information don't exist no more. And I'm like, how come the deep stuff, what we call deep? Now, I was on a tear when I was writing books. My first 40 books were metaphysics. I even think I'm missing titles. People be talking, yo, what happened to the book that you wrote? I'm like, yeah, but what's the name of the book? No one remembers. They just know these ain't all my books. And you may say, man, Polight, you tripping, Polight, you bugging. But guess what? I gave you examples of other things that people all over, for some reason, have the same mistake. Everybody's tripping. But there's a computer called D-Wave. And it does quantum computations. It does quantum computations. The universe is quantized. So that means there used to be this contradiction called as above, so below. Later on, we found out the ancestors was right. As below, so above. That the tiny world dictates or decrees what will be of the bigger world. And the macro world and the micro world tend to contradict each other because they exist by different rules, which is against the law of physics. But then they realize that the universe is built on this principle of strings and non-locality, that there's things connected to each other. And when one is affected, the other one is affected, even if it's at an inconceivable distance from each other. That's called non-locality. All right? And so, without going too much into the nuances of quantum physics, we learn in quantum mechanics that there can be two things.
I'm gonna need you to build on this side and come back to the board when we need to. Rotate.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Where I need to stand?
on that side.
I need to stand over here?
Bring your camera
I need to stand over here?
right here.
Should I bring the board over here?
When you need to, we can go back.
Okay. So, when I need to, we just rotate, huh? And the reason we're doing that is what? Better lighting? Huh? Do I need to bring the board here?
You can.
Because I don't want to keep walking. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want to keep walking back and forth. Okay, we doing good. So far, so good. So, it's called the Mandela effect, right? And the universe is quantized. And the laws that we thought contradicted each other, now we realize that macro and the micro, big and the small. Macro is large, micro is small. The big, like a microwave uses sound waves to cook food. That's very interesting. Sound is used to cook food. That's what the microwave does. But that's a whole nother conversation, but we was talking about music earlier. So use a form of tonation to heat up food. But that's another thing. A microwave, that little box that say it's not good to heat up food in. But I just want you to keep in mind that sound waves are being used to cook food. So when you put headphones on at a certain frequency, at a certain rate, you're cooking your brain. Very important information. Now, what we learned is that the universe is quantized. We'll go into this in another day. But what I wanted to explain is that they have a machine called the D-Wave. And they have something called a qubit, right? Called the qubit, which is the chip. One of these machines exists here in California, actually. They cost about $10 to $15 million. It has a refrigerator that's inside of it that puts you at zero as far as the universe is concerned. A freeze that corresponds with the universe. Okay, we're not talking about a regular refrigerator here. They got a universal freeze, a space freeze, a refrigerator. Okay, nuts. And the qubit is this little chip about the size of our thumb that it operates off of. And what it causes is a nexus amongst parallel universes. What's a parallel universe? A universe that follows the same laws of physics, and we know by physics, we're talking about the properties that matter is made up of and the energy thereof. So, we're talking about energy and matter. We're talking about the physical things and the energy that drives it or helps it precipitate or come into existence, right? So just walk with me on it. We'll pick it up on the research, the study. It'll become part of your vocabulary. We'll master it. Just walk with me on it. Okay? Because this has got to go back into using your consciousness to manifest your goals. Because they've created an artificial consciousness to manifest their goals. And you can access that with your mind as well. And that's why I'm teaching this stuff to my baby girl. But you also have to know the forces that exist that are altering reality as we speak. But you got to also know you have the right to alter reality and become a master of your own destiny as well. So you got to get this, just to know what's going on. So you do your own research, your own time and study, but also realize that you have a supercomputer right here, right there, right where your heart is. You are the supercomputer. They can't make a machine that can compare to you. But they've come very close because they desynthesize everybody's consciousness by way of making everybody just want to do music, song, dance, and lots of drugs. The whole idea is to super saturate your mind with using drugs to escape reality as opposed to creating your own. People want to escape it instead of create their own. That's the problem. So they got us using drugs, your generation particularly, Percocets, Molly Percocet. It was never cool. Something took place. It wasn't cool to be a crackhead. Like, there were drugs when we grew up. After marijuana, everybody's like, okay, you can get your marijuana. And even some of us were still like, because I don't smoke no weed to this day. Some of us was like, yo, I don't deal with that. But it was never cool to take pills out of a bottle that were prescription. That was like, yo, you tripping. We used to call that white people stuff. Like, honestly, and sniffing glue and white out was like, whoa, y'all tripping. If you roll on your hand in ink, we was like, that's kind of like drugs. What you doing? Now today, it's cool to use pills. Unbelievable. And people are destroying their consciousness. Like, you have a drug called PCP, also known as angel dust. And we figuratively say it's like reducing the angels to dust, because it destroys the part of your brain where you get enlightenment and intuition. Your pineal gland. It's called a pineal gland because it's the size of a pea, little pea. Right there. I'll show you where it's at. Pineal gland. Okay, some people call it third eye. That's conjecture, that's an interpolation. We'll make the corrections later. I don't want to go there. But what we'll say is this. These drugs that they be forcing on us specifically attack the parts of us that can master our destiny by using our consciousness to manifest our goals. They created drugs to destroy your ability to create your own reality that you envision yourself in. You see yourself being a superstar, you see yourself living in a beautiful home. You can create that here first, and then it can manifest. But they're creating drugs to destroy that. And then they're using computers to replace your ability so they can manipulate and put this world into action the way they want. And they won't be able to do that if we were using our minds the right way. So still, no matter how much technology they use, there's still parts of us that remembers, hold on, that didn't take place. No matter how much technology they use to wipe away memories, there's still always some of us like, yo, hold on, hey, I don't care what you say. That ain't happen like that. I may not be able to prove it, but it ain't happen like that. There's always a part of us that always remembers. This isn't a movie. One of my favorite movies, Adjustment Bureau. No matter how much they kept making adjustments, the people just kept meeting each other. We also see some recollection of this in Inception, another powerful movie. So, qubits, it's a little chip, and what it causes is a nexus amongst parallel universes. So picture a world just like this with a Manhattan, with another Manhattan, with a mommy, with daddy, same way. Just a few things a little different. Then, it doubles up and creates 4 of those worlds, creates 8 of those worlds, creates 16 of those worlds. Different parallel universes. You exist a bunch of different times. Only thing, some things are a little different. And one of the reasons they tap into this is to see if they can extrapolate data that can advance the culture here if it's more readily available there. So there's another Jabrizi who does magic just slightly different. There's another Amanette who cooks vegan food, slightly different. She might be a little heavier, a little lighter, almost the same exact way. And what they do is they extract data to enforce new ideas, thoughts, and technology into this existence. And with that nexus, a nexus means to conjoin something. So they alter the realities and they mesh them in. So some things get replaced, some things are lost, some things are forgotten, and new things are introduced because the subtlety of something just changing alters everything else, and that's called the butterfly effect. One little thing changes and everything else changes. Now I know this sounds nuts, but guess what, people? You can call me crazy. I don't mind. This is one of the reasons why I said I gotta stop teaching. I just teach the youth, because the youth can take this in and they'll be like, oh man, liar, oh, he's Illuminati. The youth ain't gonna do all of that. The youth is gonna be like, wow, word. And then you tell them how to do the research. So then you go, look up D-Wave. Oh, I seen the machine, daddy. It do cost like $10 to $15 million. Oh, it does quantum computation. Oh, they'll tell you that they tap into parallel universes. Scientifically, they have the ability to do it today. I don't make this up. These are the same people you reference for all your other facts. So why won't you reference this now when I give it to you? But I'm not going to work hard to convince adults no more. and I'm on to something. If I realize that a lot of what I was teaching that I believe is very significant is being taken out, then I'm like, it's a matter of time before they take me out. So I'm like, okay, I know how this works with everybody else. I mean, the black nationalism and race card and all that, that's important, but it's not the reason we exist. I wasn't born to just fight for the name of my race. Like, life doesn't, my whole existence doesn't revolve around, hey, I'm black and I'm better than other people that's not black. Like, that's corny. Like, why would we be on planet Earth just to prove that we're better than other people? I got over that information after I learned it. Oh, word, we don't. Melanin makes us special. Okay. It gives us a head start in certain things. Cool. I move on now. Otherwise, I'm insecure. I'm so insecure that I have to impose this idea on everybody to force upon their mind that I'm better than them. No, I'm not insecure. I appreciate everything that makes me special because of my race. Just like I teach you how powerful you are, why your nose is big, why your lips is big, the pigment in your eyes, what's recessive and what's dominant genes. But after that, get over yourself. Like, there's things we need to know. Because we're not part of this conversation because we're not using what makes us special to produce the type of results in the laboratory or in the science world, so we don't get experimented on. Because like I told you this, you're either doing the experiments or you're being experimented on. And we don't encourage our race to be part of these conversations so we can conduct our own forms of manipulations or tests. We will be manipulated and tested on. Facts. So all of this, kill the cracker, put your foot on his neck, bang on the beast. Those people ain't gonna get us past the technology that's being used to manipulate us day to day in our medicine, in the media propaganda. We gotta become masters of filmography to control the narratives. We gotta produce our own museums. We gotta be able to store and manage our own information and history. And we gotta be able to produce technology for the benefit of our race. If there is a threat that wants to annihilate us as a race or even a human species. I know this sounds crazy. I'm gonna move out of it because they don't say, yo, Polight, bugging. No, when you get a certain amount of money, you get to travel, you get to have certain different types of conversations. You meet people who own their own islands and allow you to be on their own islands. You realize the amount of money they put into education for their own self-gain or preservation of their own life. When you get to meet an Elon Musk, and if you don't know what that is, do the research. I'm not gonna tell you. But when you get to meet these different people and you see what they're talking about, and they've confirmed that this is a simulation, and they have buku amounts of cash to make sure they're not being led astray, then you start saying, dang, poor people don't have a chance, not because of lack of money, because of lack of knowledge, because honestly, nobody's really keeping the knowledge away from us, because we're in the information age. You can just access most of all this information. You get closer with money, but you get enough access to realize what it is. But as long as you got this supercomputer up here, you're never too disconnected from the truth. You're never too disconnected from the truth so long as you got this supercomputer up here connected to this right here. Very important information. You'll replay it, you watch it, take notes, baby. This part is all new. We ain't discussed this part yet. This is the surprise. But yeah, there are different worlds where you exist over and over and over again. And they can say, you teaching her craziness in homeschool. This is why I homeschool her, so I can teach her what I feel she needs to learn. They ain't gonna teach this in school. But guess what? No one can lock me up and say, I'm miseducating my child. Because I give you references. And this is not pseudo information. This is actually true. This is quantum computations. These are quantum computers. They exist for the purposes that I just expressed and more.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
All right, so like, if they get mad that you homeschool your daughter, I just ask everybody to be like, yo, remember when you went to school? You know what I mean? Like, going to school, the people you were around and the stuff they were doing. I remember, like you going to school, it was a bunch of kids doing drugs. Trust me, and there was no parents around to supervise any of it. All the way up until high school, middle school, 6th grade. This is about when people were like 12 and 13. All the way up until like I was 18. And it's drugs being passed around, people getting beat up and fighting. Like, it's ridiculous.
So I'm like, in tune with what the real deal is.
Exactly.
And you can also check out the movie The One with Jet Li, because there was several of him. Go back to that movie. It's a dope movie. Watch Adjustment Bureau. Watch Inception. Watch the one with Jet Li. That combination, and look up D-Wave and quantum computation and qubit, anything you can find on that. Look up Mandela effect. Put all those things together, the movies and that information, and you're going to be like, I got to fall back. And that ain't even the beginning. Because now we can start looking up simulation and how this is a simulated situation, how we are part of computer code. Not just any computer code, binary. And you can look up William Gates Jr., because he's one of the world leading mathematicians on planet Earth, a black man, who broke down that this universe is based on equations that exist in physics that confirm the fact that we exist by way of computer code. We're a very high-class, sophisticated computer program, and in time we'll be creating the same type of programs where we create universes within computers as well. And they talk about us doing that inside of like 10 years. More and more of the computer games have worlds in it. You can take the key out, open up the car, drive down the block, come out there, talk to somebody, eat some food. Yo, people don't even realize this shit is nuts. Pardon my language. This is crazy.
You know what the VR simulations, like you put the head strap on, man, you so in there, you can't even tell if you out. Like I'm like, I see a monster, and I'm like, I can't distinguish if it's a real monster or a fake monster, but when I'm in that world, to me it's real.
This is real.
So I know it's a video game.
So now, we got to go into those keywords we went into, baby girl. And one of them was what? One of the keywords was that?
Cortisol.
Cortisol. Well, that's dope. I'm glad you remember that, because I really want you focusing on cortisol. And again, I wanted to tell y'all the reason why I want my daughter to stand when I'm teaching her, and the reason why I want to go to different backgrounds, different environments, because of the ambiance and the aesthetics. Aesthetics works really on the subconscious mind. Aesthetics is another word we need to get into. It's spelled very weird, right? We need to get that word aesthetics down, okay? But I'm going to tell you that aesthetics is for the subconscious mind, because there's always a conversation taking place during the conversation. What we're wearing and what's in the background, the ambiance, this is another key word. We need ambiance and we need aesthetics. We'll watch the video over. We got to get those new words down. Say it with me. Ambiance. Aesthetics. Okay, so we need ambiance and aesthetics, because what happens is the subconscious is gathering information all the time. So it's very important not to just teach quality information, but make sure that the quality of the background is just as good, because the background is information. Flowers is part of the information. We don't want cortisol to be produced while teaching, because cortisol is a stress hormone that makes it hard to do what? Makes it hard to learn and to remember. When cortisol is produced, when you get stressed, hey, it's hard to remember things, it's hard to learn.
Nervous.
You get nervous. So watch this. Flowers don't really make people nervous, do it? But what if I got some bricks with some spray paint or something there? It could be a point of reference for something negative happened, or rest in peace to my man who died. Background is information too. So the brain is processing, whether you realize it or not, everything in and around you, up and down you. Every time this camera is on, subconsciously your brain is picking up the flowers the whole time. It'll make education easier, because this is more soothing to the mind. It's like, yo, where are they at? Ooh, I would love to be somewhere like that. Wow, the conscious mind is like, Mandela effect. Whoa. But this is the balance. If I teach you something scary, I need something positive as part of the ambiance of the background, so we can find a through line or a safe medium to educate. Okay? So this is as much information as I'm saying. So background is important. And you don't want to go to the same place every day to learn the same type of information. It becomes redundant and it puts you to sleep. So if I go to school, and I got to go to school for 5-6 months straight, to the same classroom to learn the same type of information over and over, eventually puts me in a zombie state. I'm not even interested in going, because there's no excitement. What they should do is switch classes with different teachers, switch rooms, change the color of the room periodically, or saturate the room with a bunch of colors, because the more fluidity in the room, the more colors in the room, it raises the IQ. It challenges the mind. The more colors are present, the more stimulated the mind is. If you keep a lack of colors in a room, like those little grayish blue, no one knows what the color is of those rooms that we go into called classrooms, it lowers the IQ, because there's no stimulus. Because color is synonymous with mood, and mood is synonymous with vibration, and all words are made up of energy that are made up of all those things. So we got to stimulate the mind. This stimulates the mind because of the colors and what the plants suggest. And the plants communicate to you subconsciously. It's another conversation. Absolutely true. When I teach you that class, that's going to be nuts. When you realize that these plants feel you when you come by. And they did the science. So I got the proof and the experiments with some people who just destroy plants. When they come around plants, the plants are in shock. They almost got a heart attack. And they spread word like, yo, he's out of control. And what they do, they start producing all sorts of gases to try to ward you off, or to put you asleep, or to lower your consciousness. The plants do that because they realize you are out of control. If you get a chance, you're going to piss on us before you water us. If you get a chance, you're going to step on us before you make sure we grow. So even with veganism, I say I'm a vegan, but I got my own word because I feel I eat things that's alive too, because plants are alive. So the name of the game is not to eat animals because they're alive. Then when you eating kale, we call it live food. Ain't nothing more alive than the food we eat. People actually eating dead food. We eat live food. So I'm not a vegan in the way that we would like to believe, because most vegans say, well, we don't eat that which is alive. No, people eat dead food. We actually eat that which is alive. So what are we really saying? So the refrigerator for most people is a casket. A casket is where you put dead bodies. So most people's refrigerator is a casket because there's dead chicken in there, and there's dead ox, and there's dead cow. Their refrigerator is a casket, and they eat out of caskets that are refrigerated all day. We eat live food. So we're going to eat live food. We got to thank the plants before we eat. We got to always say thank you for producing life for us to consume, because that kills alive. We eating life. We should be respectful to it. So when we get around plants don't have a heart attack like, yo, they don't care about us. And I know that sounds weird to people, but you're young and beautiful and smart. So Daddy tell you that, you with it. Adults, it's going to take some time to realize, like, yo, the plants are sensitive to your chaos. They don't deal with you the same way. They're not giving you as much as you need in the air because they want you out of here because you don't respect them. You got to start. When you respect plants, you can feel them feel you when you walk around them. Facts. I'm on a whole nother vibe with this. This is why I'm traveling the world and doing my thing. That's why I need to retire, because people, every time I turn around, they talking about race. I'm like, yo, fam, there's plants around here. You don't know nothing about botany, but you're talking to me about this. You feel me? Like, you talking to me about race all the time. You don't know nothing about botany. Consciousness. Show you this. People want to show you us being lynched, castrated during slavery. You know about slavery, white people, you know the different ships, John Hawkins and all that. We went through that. Just to speed this up, sometimes they would take the genitalia, you know, where daddy used to urinate, they'll take that and they'll cut that off. They'll sometimes double castrate you, which is take everything off. But this white man, he used to cut that off of us. So we can't reproduce, we can't make no babies with our own race. He would want to make babies with the black woman, but he makes sure we can't. That's called castrating or emasculating us. Alright, so he would castrate us. He would stop us from being able to make beautiful babies like you. He would take the man and cut off his ability to make children by cutting off a part of his organ. So, they hang us from trees. Remember we watched that movie and they made the slaves read the Bible to make sure they didn't mind being slaves? Remember it said slaves obey your masters? The Nat Turner movie, remember that movie? Where they was beating up black people and killing us and hurting us, and they gave them the Bible because the Bible was making us better slaves. Remember that movie? I think it was last year. Yeah, so that movie was interesting. So, lynching, castrating, all this stuff, right? Beating us up, killing us, putting dogs on us. But you know what? If that's the only thing you see for black history, you're going to walk around here afraid that you can't be successful. Because you know what people tell me? Wait till the white man take his house. Wait till his wives leave him when that white man come and take his money. They've studied it so much. They study this negativity so much that all they got in their mind is something bad gonna happen if you do good. So watch this. This is where this information goes back. So what's the affirmation, baby?
I am using my consciousness to manifest my goals.
Say it to the camera.
I am using my consciousness to manifest my goals.
That's right. Using your consciousness to manifest your goals, right? Watch this. So we talked about placebo, right? Placebo. We talked about placebo, right? I'm writing crazy. The right spelling is in your computer, right? I'm writing like a doctor right now. Because I know my battery's soon gonna be dying, so I just want to make sure I cover all this. Placebo, nocebo. We know that words are very important. Words are so important that they have an impact on our reality. Okay? Words have energy, and these energies alter the arrangement of things that we are able to do and possibly do or get done. So, placebo. What is placebo? They have given, you know what medicine's for. You know what herbs is for. Daddy give you herbs so you can feel good, so you never get sick, correct? So, what if Daddy gave you something and I told you, what if you sick? Let's say you sick, right? Let's say you sick, and I say, baby girl, take these herbs and drink this, and take these pills, because after you take it, you're going to feel better. And then later on, you feel better. You're going to say thank you for the medicine, right? You're going to say thank you for the herbs, right? Now watch this. What if later I tell you, you know what? That wasn't even medicine, man. Then how would you feel? What would you think? You feel weird. Why would you feel weird? Mind you, you feel better after you took it, but it wasn't even medicine.
Annoying.
What you think about that? How you think you felt better all of a sudden? If what I gave you wasn't even medicine, why you think you feel better?
Drugs.
No, it's not drugs. What if I just gave you some regular sugar water, but I told you this medicine, take that, and suddenly you feel better? What you think made you feel better?
Medicine.
It's not medicine. I'm giving you water, sugar water. It's not medicine. I'm tricking you into thinking it's medicine, and you wind up feeling better. Why do you think you felt better all of a sudden? It's not drugs. It's not medicine. It's sugar water. I lied, and I told you that is medicine. Now you find out it's not medicine. Why do you think you still feel better after you took it? There's no wrong answer. We thinking about this right now. Why do you think you feel better? Battery dying. Give me something real quick. There's no stress. I don't want you stressing. There's no wrong answer. I just want you to tell me why you think you feel better when you only thought it was medicine, but you found out it's not medicine.
When I find out it's sugar water?
Yeah. Why? But you still feel good after you took it. Why you think you feel better?
Sugar.
Think because of the sugar?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's called placebo. You can think yourself into feeling better. You don't necessarily need the medicine. Now, we don't use herbs, right? But what I'm telling you is, your mind is so strong. If you believe that what you're taking is going to make you feel better, it actually will. That's how religion is. Some people, though we know Jesus ain't, I don't want to offend nobody, but, some people believe Jesus exists so much that Jesus saved them. I guarantee you that. There's people on planet Earth Jesus actually saved. I guarantee you that. They believe that thing so much that, he wake me up in the morning. I used to be like, man, knock it off. Like, come on, sis. Oh, no. He's all the man I need. He wake me up. I'm like, you having an affair with Jesus? Come on, cover your ears, baby. So, but later on, we realize that belief is so strong, but it's not really belief. It's the mind.
Magic.
Magic, a form of magic. Consciousness. Remember you said you're going to use your consciousness to manifest your goals?
Yeah.
That's a form of using your consciousness. You can believe yourself into a new situation, into a better situation. No matter how hard things get, if you focus objectively on your goals, you can manifest them. Because that's how strong your mind is. That's what the placebo effect is. Now that we know what placebo is, nocebo is the opposite. You can think things will not work for you and believe that so much that what? Things will not work for you. So that's why negative thoughts, we don't want to deal with that. And we don't want to be around people who think negative either.
It's not good.
Because they indoctrinate us. They make us believe into their negativity. And then it becomes our reality. So people telling you that you cannot, people telling you that you will not, people telling you that you won't be able to do something, those are dangerous people. Because if you have it around you too much, you'll start believing
It's too
it.
noisy.
If you have it around you too much, you'll stop believing that you can. And the one thing you got in this world, that separation from other people. See, this type of stuff I really believe is part of the scheme of things.
Let's talk about it.
I don't know nothing about no times no damn helicopters be around here.
There you go.
But it gotta be here right when we get to the thick of what we're talking about. Put how you think. We'll just talk louder. We gotta talk over the helicopter. But placebo is when you use your mind unknowingly, unbeknown to you, the information you got wasn't correct. But you use your mind and it still creates the positive results.
When you get nervous, everything starts to feel weird.
Talk louder.
When you get nervous, everything starts to feel weird.
That's
You're
right.
not sure if you're going to get the right answer or if you are.
And that's because what's being produced?
Placebo.
Nope. That's that word. What hormone? Yeah, what hormone is being produced?
Cortisol.
There you go, cortisol. That's the hormone. Everything you just described is what happens when you get nervous. So we know that. What's the word?
Placebo.
What's the word we talk about when you get nervous and you forget things and it's hard to remember? It's a hormone.
Cortisol.
There you go. What's the word?
Cortisol.
There we go. One more time.
Cortisol.
Okay. So we learned that placebo and nocebo confirms how powerful the mind is. Because I can give you what you think to be medicine, and it's really not medicine. But you still say, Daddy, I'm healed. I feel good. And then say, well, you know what, baby girl? That wasn't medicine. That was just sugar water. Then you got to say, then how come I feel better? Because sugar water don't make people feel good. In fact, it should make you sick. Only because you turn, this is a form of alchemy. That's normally turning base metals into gold, right? But this is a form of mental alchemy. Because gold becomes your result figuratively. You're taking anything and making it what it needs to be when you consume it in order to feel better. You have the power. So even if I give you herbs, if you know about the body, you can assist the herbs first by knowing these herbs will help me, and two, know where the herbs are going to go to help the part of the body that it needs to help you to produce the very things that your body will produce to help you. As much as mind you can put into these events, you will have a more speedy recovery. The more you can use your mind to aid in the matter, you will have better results all the time. All the time. Okay? So we know that placebos, though, we're going to watch some videos on placebo. Right? Placebo's powerful. We're going to watch some videos on placebo, and then we're going to realize what nocebo means and represents. Because of placebo, so you could think your way into positive things, you could think your way into negative things. That's why we don't want to have no negativity. The second you see negativity, move from it. You hear negativity, move from it. Because we learned that words have what? Shape, weight, color. That's what we learned, right?
Yeah.
Synesthesia is the word. What's the word?
Synesthesia.
You know that. What are you supposed to do? There you go. Whenever we learn a new word, we milli rock. Go ahead. Synesthesia. There you go. You already know. Every time we get a new word up in this joint, synesthesia right now is the new. Whenever we say synesthesia, we milli rock. You know? Get some attitude.
Go, Daddy.
Milli rock. Yo, that's what new word words do. You know why? Because we want to associate good time with new words. So every time I say synesthesia, she just starts laughing. She really rocks her. She's going to be 30 years old, and she's always going to have this thing. And her children are going to say, what are you doing? Oh, this is a dance called Millie Rock. Daddy taught me, you know, synesthesia. Synesthesia. Why you always giving us new words, mommy? They're like, mommy, man, why you always got these giant words? How you remember that? Because you was getting these giant words when you was 11 years old, when you was 10 years old, when you was 9 years old. You was getting these huge words. And it was nothing to you. It didn't even seem like huge words. You know why? Because it's normal. We normalize the words. Let me tell you something. On a side note, human beings are four blind. What does this mean? You ever see this? Get down right with both hands. You ever see this? 5. We do this on purpose because if I did this, you'd be like, I think I know how much is there. But if I do this, or if I do this, you know what's there. Well, once we get to 5, it becomes difficult the way our orientation is. Human beings are four blind. The way we see, once it goes past 4, it becomes obscure. It becomes ambiguous. Good words. We pick it up. Got to throw those into the section. Ambiguous, a little mixed up, confused. Obscure, not hard to make out. Okay? So this becomes obscure after line. So this right here is obscure. Say obscure.
Obscure.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous.
There you go. Say it louder.
Obscure.
Always talk as loud as you do when you with your friends, because this time you're saying something incredibly smart. So you should always talk as loud or louder when you're saying something incredibly smart. You know how that goes. Obscure or ambiguous. Ambiguous.
Ambiguous.
It means it's getting a little confusing. Okay? It's a little confusing. But this we understand means 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We cross it. 5. Human beings are four blind. So this means after anything going past 4, it gets a little confusing. Little confusing. In that same manner, the way we get educated, we're syllable blind, figuratively speaking, which means you get words that are 3 syllables and lesser. That's how they educate us. So when I say things like ambiguous, or say when I say quantum chromodynamics, even though those are different words, but there's so many syllables taking place. When I say jump, you say how high. Now let me stop. When I say words that are made up of 4 syllables, most people start shutting down because we've been conditioned to only get 3 syllables and lesser in our education. By the time you start getting 4-syllable words or acronyms like QSIP, Committee on Uniform Security's Identification Procedure, when we get acronyms that are made up of more than 3 letters, when we get words that's made up of more than 3 syllables, many of us shut down and say, man, this is too hard. Man, I don't even know how to pronounce that word. That's crazy. We start getting sleepy, actually. Start falling asleep. It's actually a program. We've been programmed to fall asleep when the words get longer because most of our education is predicated upon 3 syllables lower. So we 3-syllable blind as far as auditory aspects are concerned, just like we're 4 blind when it comes to visual. Anything that goes past 4, we got to start doing slick stuff like put a cross on it. So it's very important that when we educate our children, that we break the plane of thought and we make sure we give them words and acronyms that are made up of 4 syllables or 4 words. It's very important. So we could break that train of thought where things become very hard when they get to a certain level of education, they start shutting down. Just like we don't want to use the word problem when we give in math out, because then math becomes a problem because you start associating math with problems because all they give you is a bunch of problems whenever you do math, and you may already have problems in your life. Your girlfriend may have dumped you, your boyfriend may have dumped you, Valentine's Day you ain't got nobody on your side, your mama left, your father left. You don't need any more additional problems than you already have in your world. Okay? So we get math puzzles, math challenges, but we make sure we don't get math problems. Okay? So that's why the big words, so-called big words, are very important, because later on, as the information becomes more intricate and detailed, the trick is to give you words that are made up of more syllables to shut you down, because they know they programmed you to only deal with words 3 syllables lower. They're looking to shut you down mentally when it gets important. So teach them young. So when they get older, they in beast mode when it comes to studying. Like, man, I've been knew about quantum chromodynamics and space physics and article aces and What else? What else is biosemiotics? You know, we've been doing that a long time ago for homeschool. You kidding me? Space physics, homeschool. You know what I'm saying? Like biosemiotics, that's what we do. Microbial biology, been there, done that. Give me something heavy. See, she ain't got to be a genius. She just got to be taught right at a young age. And she'll germinate into what people want to call a genius. This is the girl that did 4 languages at 4 years old. You know why? Because I don't have limitations on my ability to teach my child. People used to see me on the train and saying, you asking too much of your child. Calm down. She's nervous. Don't worry about that. You're not going to visit her. She winds up in prison, are you? I'd be heavy with it. Like, yo, listen, my child is not going to be experimented on. She's going to do the experimenting. Forget all of that. If she can say it, if she can read it, she can do it. And if she can at the moment, she will. If she can pronounce the words, she can say the words. If she could talk, she could remember. If she could remember that garbage that's on TV, she could remember the meanings of these words. So come on now, I'm not playing those games. You shouldn't accept lesser for your children. Teach them, even if they're in school. Take some damn time out. Part of my language. I'm getting upset. Take some time out, which is still not an excuse. Part of my language. We don't use curse words. Let's go into the language again. Let me show you how powerful the language is.
Time.
Ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna finish up on this. I had a book. I wanted to give people books that they should read, man. But damn, part of my language again. I gotta stop this. Yeah, I gotta go on the language fast. Very important, language fast. Words that you will not use. That's gonna be the next session tomorrow. Look at this. Curse words. Gotta spell words, right? But you could be put under a spell, right? You go to prison, they give you what? A sentence. Think about that. You cursing people out. That means you wishing the worst for them. Okay, you're provoking their consciousness. You cursing people out, and these words have to be spelled. And spells precipitate curses. Spells put people in a trance. And then they sentence you. Out of all words, why would they use the word sentence? So you see, we associate this negativity to even building words to communicate our ideas. Now, who wants to do a sentence, a prison sentence? So now sentences are not even that good. And them cursing people out by the words out the spell. And the spells are negative. I'm not even going to want to put effort into making sure I'm correct when I'm putting the words together. See, it's a connotation of these words that makes it so hard to learn. It's negative, man. We got to get out the negativity. All right? So we become masters of our own destiny by seeing to it that we use words in a manner that empower us. Because these words have energy. They have weight, shape, size, and color. Something called synesthesia, where people can see the color of words, or they can smell the color of the words that they see in different colors. Like, I know it sounds weird, but this is how you know that words have color. And color is mood, and mood is vibration. And vibrations obviously come as an offset of tones. So if Daddy was upset and you walked by me, you would be able to be impacted by my negative energy because I'm sad. Without me talking, you'll say, Daddy, are you all right? And I would say, nah, baby, but thanks for asking. And you never ask yourself, how did I know Daddy wasn't all right? Daddy didn't tell me. You felt the impact of my energy. Remember, matter is about physical properties. Remember, physics is about the physical properties of matter and the energy thereof. You felt my energy. You didn't even have to hear me talk.
Just by looking at you.
Just by looking at me. Or the combination of what you seen, the energy caused my face to shape a certain way, and then you feel bad because I feel bad because we're connected to each other, right? Mm-hmm. You're going to feel bad if I feel bad. So that means my thoughts create grooves that alter my face, that also impact you, which means my thoughts have weight. And I could say something that can hurt you, I could say something that makes you feel powerful. And the same thing, you could think thoughts that make you feel like just getting out there and doing something special, or you could think thoughts that make you feel like it don't even make no sense to do anything, I can't do it at all. So words are very important. So we're going to finish up on this note. I'm going to get Where's this thing at? What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna suggest to our audience that they get this book so we can follow up. Here we go. We need some of that light. This book is called Conscious Language. Is a good book to work out of for adults and children. But you know, it's not a children's book, but I make it a textbook for the youth. Okay, it's called Conscious Language, the logos of now. Let me give you an example on page 76. We want to go on a language fast, just like you have food that you want to desist from eating at certain time periods or maybe forever. There's words you never want to use again, like the word try. So what this book is going to do is give you an overview of things that we say that impedes on our ability to actually succeed. So as an example, I want. We want to stop saying I want, because want means lack. That's the consequence of wanting something. It means you don't have. We always have. We're never in a position where we don't have. So stop saying you want. When we use the right assortment of words, we will be casting a type of spell on ourselves, a form of self-hypnosis, where no one or nothing can suggest to us that we cannot do or succeed. Our very actions are determined based on the type of words we use day to day. So, I want is out the vocabulary. My baby girl can't use it, and your baby girl and your baby boy shouldn't use it, and you shouldn't use it. I need. Need is without. I can't. I cannot. It's too hard. Not just one hard, but too hard. Pause. But you understand what's going on. I don't know how.
Oh, man, come on.
Let's wrap it up, please.
I'm going through it casually too, like pause.
Okay. I don't know how.